Hello everyone, this is Jonah the Orange, and today we are talking about premium units. And when I say premium units, to people that don't know, they're the units that you can only buy with gold. And we'll be covering which ones can be worth purchasing, what they're good for, etc, etc, etc. Now what most premium units do bring to the table is versatility. For example, on the Roman side, you have access to tier 4 cavalry, which you won't have access to unless you get premium units. And then you have slingers and archers, which aren't available at all no matter how high you get your tiers. The only way to get them is through premium units. There's even javelin cavalry, which you can't get on the Roman side without premium units, but it's javelin cavalry and maybe one day they'll be good, but not this patch. Now if you look at the premium units on the Greek side, you have access to light spears at tier 4, which is pretty amazing. And you can also get heavy spears at tier 2, which is also good. While both these units are available further down the tiers, having early access to them and then being pretty reasonably cheap can be a great advantage for you. Like having light infantry at tier 4 can be amazing for farming, because people don't expect to face those units at tier 4. So as far as which ones I think are the best to purchase, I would have to say Spartan hoplites, the Roman slingers, and auxiliary cavalry. I'll be telling you why in the next bit of the video. So let's start off with auxiliary cavalry. So you get tier 4 cavalry, and that's a big thing. It's like if you watch my farming video, tier 4 cavalry is some of the easiest points you can get in this game. The reason being is people don't know how to handle cavalry, like they haven't really faced it too much yet. And the other thing is there's no heavy swords, so you can actually take on sword units. Because there's not any heavy swords running around, and medium swords actually do take a lot of damage from charges. And they've just introduced the barbarians, which is mostly light infantry and light cav, and being medium cav you can just run them over. So this patch has actually helped, auxiliary cavalry more than anything. Just don't make the mistake of fighting barbarians in the forest. Just wait for them to come out of it, because they will have to come out of the forest eventually, since none of the capture points are actually near it. So just go AFK for 10 minutes if you have to, put on some Pornhub in the background, whatever. Come back after you had the spank and then spank them. Because you will run them over. Once they're out of that forest, you're medium versus light, you'll just run them over. And that's why I find on the Greek side, they have a lot of premium cavalry and most of it's light. Yeah, there's one medium, but I find them all useless, and here's why. So let's have a look at what tiers you unlock these units. So on the Greek side, you unlock light cav at tier 5 and light cav at tier 7. And now let's have a look at what units you're most likely to run into in the forest at those tiers. And there's tier 6 spears, light spears. So they're definitely got to be in the forest, so there you run to spears. There's tier 6 medium spears, so you got to run into more spears. And now let's have a look at the Roman side. Just changing over, hold on a sec. There's heavy swords, and they're not going to be in the forest anyway unless they want to die. And then at tier 7 you got more light infantry spears, so you just got to be running into spears in the forest. And that's a big problem if you're light cav, where you're meant to have a advantage in the forest and all you're running into is spears. Now let's say you're thinking, but I'm going to be really quick and I can ambush people like coming out of the forest. Well, it's SimCity at the moment. Good luck with that. You can try it, but it's not for me. Like, there's way too many units at the moment that counter light cavalry. Pretty much all of them, apart from archers and siege equipment. So you have 2 targets. And okay, siege equipment, like sometimes there might be 1 or 2, so you got to definitely kill them. Let's just say it's not for me. And now let's have a look at the medium cav you unlock at tier 7. This is the worst, I reckon, the worst premium unit to purchase. Like simply go down to the tier 4 citizen cav, which is medium cav as well. Now look at their upgrades, add them onto the stats. Now compare them to Amazon warriors that are tier 7. That's why you should not purchase Amazon warriors. But enough about what not to purchase, here's why Spartan hoplites are the bomb. So straight away, as tier 4 light infantry, you are dominating any forest fights. Like you have a clear advantage in the forest, like even over the barbarians. Because even though they do have light infantry, it only goes up to tier 3, so you have one more tier on them. but they get upgraded, so they might be even with you. But you get Miltiades and Leonidas, who are better in combat than Arminius. Now, I know a lot of you saying, oh, Arminius is the shit. Well, I reckon he will be the shit when he has range units, because that scale ability is amazing. And even now, if he queues with a player playing range units and they just kite people, man, that scale ability is, yeah, the bomb. But we're talking mostly solo queue. And luckily, barbarians don't have any ranged firepower, so yeah. Of course, on Rubicon it's a bit harder, but, you know, being light infantry, you still have that speed, so you can support your allies quickly. But on any maps that have mass forest area, like Germania, you can just clear out that forest. And the minute that you've cleared out the forest, you basically turn into a support infantry role where you get easy flanks and rear charges, but you don't really want to take anyone on, like, you know, head on, like, you don't, especially at higher tiers, because you only have like what, tier 6 light infantry, tier 8 at the highest. You don't want to be taking on tier 10 heavy infantry in the open. But anyway, back to Spartan hoplites specifically. So you have early access. They're actually the first unit to get the consumable shared rations, and they also have dodge. So you have a 40% melee defense ability that lasts 21 seconds, and then you add shared rations on top of that. Your melee defense is through the roof, and actually lets you take on things that you shouldn't be able to take on as light infantry. And the other thing is, since you are fighting low tiers, fear is actually useful and often does break their morale. But the main thing, surprisingly, you do have to look out for when you are playing Spartan hoplites is allies. Allies will kill you. The friendly fire you receive at lower tiers from ranged units is devastating. Especially as light infantry, you die quick and they will shoot you. So if you have archers just behind you, sometimes it's actually better just to wait for them to die. God damn, that friendly fire. I've had games like where I should be racking up the points, but my allies just go, nope, we're killing you, bro. Even if you clearly just saved their lives, like you just blocked cavalry for them. They're like, okay, you blocked that, now I'm gonna shoot the fuck out of you. And then you don't have a focus fire, so you can't retaliate. I wish that was in. I would fucking friendly fire them back right in the face. Which I have done before. I had this ballista player, he shot the fuck out of me, and this is in the first 1 minute of the game. He must have been just purposely killing me, just shot me. So I ran back there with my archer unit, focus fired him, killed him, and he's like, what the fuck? I'm like, he was surprised that I would kill him even though he's focus firing the fuck out of me with siege equipment. And now, like, if you're a siege player, now you understand why no one wants to protect you. Always bring your own protection, because the chances are, like, no one likes you. That's just the truth. Like, I hate siege players, I'm sorry to say, because how many times do I have to fucking eat boulders from my own team, and I try to save them, and then later on they'll shoot the fuck out of me. It's just hard to help people that are willing to shoot the fuck out of you on your own team. I'm not saying all siege players that do it. Like, I know a few siege players that are great, but those solo queue siege players, fucking avoid at all costs. And I actually play siege equipment, like, not often, but I do play it. And yeah, always bring your own protection, because it's no one's going to protect you, like, hardly ever, unless you're killing with other people, and then you're just a camp fest, just ruining the game for everyone else by camping like fucking idiots. And you might be thinking, oh, but defending is a viable strat. Well, yeah, it might be, but it's boring as shit. Like, no one wants a game where both teams just sit there doing nothing for the first 10 minutes. Like, okay, if you do enjoy that, if you do enjoy just sitting in base doing fuck all, well then, kudos to you, you dumb fucks. Oh, sorry, like, it's really pissing me off, like, especially this patch. Couldn't be more of a camp fucking fest, like, seriously. But I'll leave that for another video, how much I fucking hate these new consumables on Roman infantry. Like, holy shit, some of that camp fest. I've had battles where no one does anything. Literally 14 minutes of nothing, and then whoever got the most catapult hits in wins. Like, no one fucking moves. I've got to move on from that subject because, God, yeah, there's enough. Yeah, I'm just gonna swear 24/7 while I talk about how fucking annoying campfests are. I'm trying to stop swearing, but goddamn, let's move back on to premium units. That's what this subject was about at the beginning. But we'll clarify one more thing about camping. If you are solo queuing and you set up some spikes around you, you set up some defense around your catapults, then fine. But if you're queuing with 4 people and your intent is to go in there and camp, go fuck yourselves. Like, go seriously, buy a dildo, put it on your computer chair, right? Glue it in. You don't want it moving around too much. Glue it in and then just fucking sit on that. And now, do you feel that excruciating pain going through your anus? Well, that's the same pain the community is going through because of you dickheads. And if this game is going to have a future, like especially a competitive one, can you imagine like 10 people, we're all camping, and then the next 10 people are like, yeah, we'll camp too, and then they face each other and then no one moves. Well, that's what will happen in competitive play at the moment. Like, there's no advantage on attacking the base. You can get away with it because there is no 10v10s at the moment, like organized 10v10s. But if this is going to be a competitive game, yeah, it's just not going to happen at the moment. So yeah, well, I was going to talk just about premium units, but it's premium units and about camping this video now. So let's look at all the maps. Like, okay, you guys know the maps, like all you guys that play a lot, you know the maps, how they're designed. Okay, they're set up for camping. They're straight up fucking set up for camping. If you have 10 organized players and you all camp, it's victory. That's it. That's game. Well, it's not exactly like straight up victory. Like, yeah, if everyone went heavy infantry on the offensive, yeah, you got a chance. But the campers just have like fortifications, like all the bases usually have cliffs around them, so that's just the perks. Like, you can put your range on there, you have high ground, you're shooting down on people, you can decap from the cliff, like, and then Cav can't kill you because of that stupid bug with the cliffs. Then you got Roman infantry putting down their stakes and their barricades. So when you actually try to destroy them, they engage you in combat, taking no damage, and they will win because you're too busy trying to destroy the barricades. If you click on them to fight back, you take stake damage. So yeah, and people are like, oh well, you could counter it with artillery. Have you seen how fucking slow artillery is? By the time they figure out that the other team is purely camping, they won't have enough time to actually get it in position to attack their base. And then, like, ballistas, they could do it, and immunes, they could do it, like engineers, immunes. They could counter camping, but their fire arc is shit. So, and most of the bases, like, the one with the hot gates, that's up on the fucking cliff. You can't even shoot them up there with your ballistas and your engineers. The fire arc is too shit to shoot up a cliff. And I've done this before. If you run your engineers all the way around the back on top of that massive cliff and shoot down at them, you can't do it. You can't even shoot down cliffs as engineers. That's how bad their fire arc is. It has to be a straight line, nothing else. Not to mention the fact that engineers don't have a focus fire. Like, why not? Why don't they have alternate fire or focus fire? Why can't they do that? The one possible counter, it's weak, it's a fucking weak unit, and the one way it could be worth using is if it could counter campers, and they're like, no, you gotta have a shit fire arc, you won't have a focus fire, so there's no way you can snipe enemy artillery that's on any good defensive position. Yeah, basically this, see what I'm playing now? Slingers, that's the counter to camping, the only one, the one unit that has a chance. And they're not even that great at it. Okay, so you spot the enemy artillery, you manage to get close enough to the enemy base to spot the artillery. You use focus fire, and then the artillery blocks after shots fucking anyway. And then most of them survive by the time you get smashed in the face. So then they have their 4 guys pick up their artillery and start shooting again. So yeah. And the reason why they get smashed in the face is because if you actually get in range to shoot the artillery, they usually have like range. If they like an actual camping team, they'll have ranged units to counter yours, and they're on higher ground, so you're fucked there. So I think this is better though, luckily. So after this video, I don't even know. Like, I'm definitely not playing as much as I used to in this patch compared to other patches because it is such a camp fest. And yeah, like, most of the games are fine. Most of the games are good. The only reason that I don't like it is because when it is 10v10, why as a 10v10 team would you ever go on the offensive? Like, if it's an even match, you're just going to lose if you try to go on the offensive. Because if you're just waiting for the opponent to come to you and you're defending, you can take all the good positions. And most of the time, the offensive has to go in a position which is not beneficial to them to get to you, and then they're destroyed. Like, that's as simple as that. Yeah, so it's not going to be competitive until changes are made. Luckily, it's still early. You know, hasn't even been released yet. And yeah, some people are like, oh, it doesn't have to be competitive, it can just be fun. Well, yeah, but some, like, okay, that's fine. But look at all the successful games that don't rely on AI. Like League of Legends, Dota, Dawn of War, Warcraft, Company of Heroes, like, they all had competitive play in them. And when I say AI, I'm obviously talking about playing against, like, you know, you're not playing against AI opponents. Like, yeah, there's AI in the game, but you're playing against actual players. Like, I'll put it this way, like, let's look at a Dragon Age. Great game because it has, you know, it doesn't have multiplayer, it's this great story, etc. This game doesn't really have a story at all. Like, okay, name another game that doesn't rely on AI opponents and doesn't have a story that's successful without competitive play. Oh, and I think if you want to see why the slingers are good, check out my slingers video. I'll put it in the description below. But yeah, I think I'm going to end this one on about camping, basically. Now, if you go to the forums, all these people are bringing up camping and how to counter it. But then there's a bunch of people that just shut them down every time. Like, no, we like it the way it is. Give me, why do you like it the way it is? Like, are you just shit? Like, is that, like, you know, it's so much easier just to do fuck all the whole game? Like, why? Like, I don't understand how you could enjoy doing fuck all and just sitting at base. Like, do you actually think you are, like, good? Like, is that how you be good now? Like, that's what I'm figuring out. If you just do fuck all for the first 10 minutes, that makes you a better player. Like, camping has gone so bad that I'll start doing it. I hate camping, but now that's the viable thing to do. If you want to win games, just sit there for 10 minutes, wait for your opponents to come to you because they'll be out of position, and then bam, you kill them. That's a new way of farming. Camp, and that's it. But the reason I don't upload those videos is because they're fucking boring. They're like, why would you want to continue with this game, especially as someone on Twitch or YouTube, where it's just boring ass fucking games? Because all you're going to do is show people you camping. Like, at lower tiers, sure, the game looks fucking great at lower tiers, but those people aren't going to be lower tier forever. And now look at, like, high tiers, Camp Fest. Basically, heavy infantry fest and Camp Fest. And, like, no one enjoys watching that. Like, maybe some people enjoy playing it, but, like, if you're trying to promote this game, who wants to promote that? Who wants to promote just fucking camping? Like, hey guys, check this game out. What you do is, you wait in the loading screen, and then for 10 minutes you AFK, and then for 5 minutes you actually do something. So, you get 5 minutes of gameplay per 20 minutes of actually being there. Like, you can sit there for 20 minutes doing fuck all, and then 5 minutes you actually get to enjoy the game. That's why I think, like, when they are Like when they are promoting this game, they're never going to really promote a high tier game, because they know how shit it is. Like, oh, I hope they do. They're seeing the Campfest. This has made me miss the last patch, like patch 11. Patch 10 was the best. Patch 11 was pretty good. This patch, holy shit. Like, yeah. If they can get some sort of middle ground at least, like, fuck. Like, people complaining about camping in patch 11, now look at it. So for new players that still want to play this game, this is what I would tell you to do. Either buy gold, get slingers, or play heavy infantry. Like, that's my way of farming, like when you get the higher tiers anyway. That's what I do in high tiers now. Play 3 heavy infantry, just run up there and dominate, because I've got higher tier units and I've got higher tier commanders. Or I play slingers and, you know, I've got the range to actually counter this Campfest. But the other thing you can do as a new player is never go past tier 4. Tier 4 is awesome. Like, tier 4 is a bomb. Like, that's where you want to be. Tier 4 is great. Past that, no, yeah. So just level your commanders up. Like, literally at the moment, don't bother about leveling up into high tiers with your units. Just level your commanders up. Get them all up to tier 9, etc. And then just have tier 4 units and play that. It's better. It's much more fun. It's not as much of a Campfest. Like, once in a while you get a Campfest game, but tier 4 at the moment is so much more enjoyable, because people don't know that you can just camp and fucking farm points. Anyways, that's enough ranting for one video. Yeah. But if you're not a camper, please subscribe and thumbs up. If you are a camper, just remember, just go buy that dildo. Just fucking, yeah, just sit right on it, you can't.